up guys, your favorite Kage, Enigma Kage, bringing you this Jump Force Deluxe Edition Ultimate Guide. If you're new to the channel, welcome, hope you stick around, learn a thing or two, and hey, maybe you'll subscribe today. In this video, I'll be giving you useful tips for making your Jump Force experience a good one. Anything I do not cover in this video has been previously covered in detail down in my tutorial playlist, so definitely check that out whenever you get a chance. Before we begin, let's get this video to 80 likes. 80 likes greatly helps out the channel and it helps get this video to other new players as well. Let's continue to push each other to be the best. So, Jump Force Deluxe Edition players, I hope your first couple games hasn't been horrible, but that's a part of learning the madness in Jump Force. Jump Force has been out on other platforms for some time now, so I have enough experience to give you. I'll start off with 5 basic, 5 intermediate, and 5 pro tips that will absolutely help you crush the competition. Let's start this thing off with chasing. Chasing occurs when you click the sprint button the moment right after the opponent escapes, or you follow up after a 5 or 6 hit combo. Why is this even a topic? Let me explain. When you enter a rush chase battle, you are now basically playing a chess match against your opponent. Will he dodge, counter, or vice versa? If you continue to hit the light attack, you will hit a sequence of 3 strikes, and the final being a smash. If your opponent is good, he or she will be able to predict the pattern. So in between the chase, you have options. You can either continue doing the strikes, or you can do some mix-ups. Changing up the flow within the air is important. Staying unpredictable will help you in the long run. If you go into an air battle, you can rush from either direction, hitting the jump button and the direction you want to travel. This alone will change up the timing for most. You can also tag out in the chase battle to make it even more difficult for your opponent to predict your next move. Just try it. Understanding your lights and heavies. When you first begin, you will be a masher. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We've all been there. But understanding how the flow of each character works will give you the proper edge. For an example, I main Sasuke Uchiha. Knowing how his flow of attacks goes helps me decide my next move. Sasuke has about 4 to 5 strikes before going to a chase. Transitioning from those lights into his heavies into a possible fireball jutsu can really put a hurting on my opponent. After at least a round, your opponent will get hip to your flow. Changing from lights to heavies and back to lights can shuffle things around. Each character can transition back into lights from heavies, but they have to be tilts. Tilts is when you use the direction of either up or down when hitting the light attacks. Sasuke can transition from heavies by doing the down tilts at any time. Keep in mind, once you've done the transition from heavy to light, you cannot do an ability afterwards. However, you can extend the combo with your ally. Pop-Ults versus Awakening Ult. At 50% or more, you can use your ultimate attack. Knowing whether to do a Pop-Ult or to wait until the Awakening Ult is up to you. The benefit of a Pop-Ult is just the element of surprise. You're cutting your ultimate potential damage down by at least 20 to 30%. I will only use it if it's guaranteed to kill someone or it's the beginning of a round. Awakening Ultimate is always the choice you should make. Sadly, Jump Force rewards worse players on the field more so than the good players, since they can easily get 2 ultimates in a single round. That's more opportunities to kill you, so stay on your toes. Switch stunning. Jump Force is a team-based game, so approach it like a team-based game. Tagging out or switch stunning is beneficial in many ways. Sometimes it can be an extension of your combos which couldn't be achieved otherwise, and other times it just stops their opponent from running. You have about 3 seconds after you hit the tag button to control the previous partner. Knowing that can actually help you bring the pain. For an example, Luffy has a Red Hawk. I know I want to switch to Sanji. I'll activate my Red Hawk, and as soon as it begins, I switch to Sanji for a quick switch stun. And not only is he stunned for a short duration, Luffy is still coming with that Red Hawk. Switch stuns can also help with your ultimate. If your opponent has exhausted all his mobility meter, you can switch stun them for an easy ult. Launchers and skill links. Each character has a launcher. You can achieve that by just using the up tilt combos. Some players' skills also grant launching attacks, which can be followed by either a tag out or a switch stun. For an example, Zoro's 1,000-pound cannon is his projectile, and it acts as a launcher as well. After hitting the move, I have the choice of following up with a tag out or leaving him alone just so I can gain more meter. Skill links is something I titled when a character has 2 moves that can link simultaneously. For example, Zoro's 3 and his 1, it connects flawlessly. Almost every character has a skill link for their ultimate. You just have to figure out which of these moves does it for each character. Using Zoro again, you can use his 3 into an ult, and the same goes for Sasuke as well. Knowing how you can increase the damage of each character should be your first offensive priority.
お断りします。
Moving on to a little bit more advanced learning. Perfect smash versus Guardbreaker. There's a difference between a light smash and a heavy smash. Light smashes send your opponent flying, meanwhile heavy smashes are used as a guard break or a stage transitioner. You can achieve a smash by holding down the light attack and a guard break by holding down the heavy attack. Every character has a different timing for their smashes, and understanding that rewards you with a perfect smash. Perfect smashes are activated when the player has perfectly timed the smash when the character glows red. Those smashes always put you in a guaranteed positive position unless the opponent counters it perfectly with a high speed dodge. Both light and heavy smash can cause a guard break, but it's whether you want to send them flying or not. It's up to you. Adding in smashes between combos can only benefit you. Just don't be too predictable with them. High speed dodge versus high speed counter. I have a guide that's strictly on high speed dodge in my tutorial playlist. High speed dodges occur when the player times the opponent attack with the guard button. High speed counters occur when the player predicts the opponent's strike while using their own light strike. I would say this. High speed dodge should be your choice over high speed counter, simply because you have more control over one than the other. When you enter a chase battle, you have two choices. You either counter or dodge. High speed counters take as little as 5 to 10% of your mobility meter versus a massive 30 to 40% of your mobility meter to pull it off. If you pay attention to your opponent's mobility meter, that can help you in your decision whether to keep the air battle going or to just cut your losses. You can actually get by better with saving your mobility meter more than battling out, losing all your mobility, and still lose the air battle. Team synergy. Every character in Jump Force from the same series can synergize with at least one character from that series. I have a playlist showing all Season 1 characters' tag team melee attacks. Feel free to check that out after this video as well. However, learning how to link attacks can go a long way. Yes, I mentioned same series character synergy is a no-brainer, but you can link other series characters as well. It just has to make sense in the long run. For an example, I usually run Sasuke, Kenshiro, and Kaguya. Those characters can be used as an extension of each other. Finding the sweet synergy comes with time. The best way to find out is during the arena battle event, since everybody has randomized teams. Find out which character complements your mains. Sidestep versus backsteps. I actually learned this from Pop-Ult. Step backs have greater success than sidesteps, but it varies depending on the opponent. Finding out whether you can sidestep or backstep a grab comes with experience. For a rule of thumb, sidestep smashes and strikes, backstep grabs. You can also sidestep grabs and rush skills too, but beware of your opponent's reach. Everyone is different. Please utilize the dodge mechanics in Jump Force. Finding a weak point. Every character has a weak point, whether it's against a rush heavy character like All Might, a zoner like Ryo Saiba, or a hybrid like Sasuke. Figuring out how to approach them in battle depends on your team. Zoners have the advantage long range, so using a rush heavy character can give you the upper hand in close quarter battles, but finding a way to get to them is the challenge. I like to run my characters like a toolbox, a hybrid, one with both rush and projectiles, a zoner, and a tech character that just complements my second character. So, if I'm using a Naruto based team, I will run Sasuke, Naruto, and someone like either Boruto or Madara, if I want to cover my entire surroundings, by the way. I have a character for each situation my opponent throws at me. Keep yourself well equipped while hiding your weak points. However, don't try to tough it out with just one character. Switch out if that character does not have good defense against the current character you're fighting.
まだあなたにはかけるものがある。
Finally, the advanced and pro portion. These become second nature, but D, C, and some B ranks just don't use them. Starting off with feints and baiting. High level players often try to bait you into using your mobility meter up and escaping early. The trick is not to sweat the minor damage and only escape if it's crucial or you just know you can outclass them. Air quote, high level players uses 3 strikes and then they go for a rush, which in my opinion is foolish because now you have a chance to get up and block. If you're the player given the punishment, instead of dropping your combo, you add some feints. To do a feint, you just simply need to strike the opponent and hit the jump button right after contact. That will give off the impression of you doing something other than mashing, which will more than likely make them waste an escape. The same occurs with baiting. If your opponent has awakened, do not panic. You can bait rush them by pretending to rush and quickly blocking. which normally spooks the opponent into using their ultimate. Beware, if you are awakened and they're awakened and you're trying to bait them prolong, you will just run out your ultimate meter, and that's no bueno. Team Awakening. Team Awakening occurs when you have more than 50% of your awakening gauge full, and you click R3 or the right thumbstick in after light or heavy strike. In Team Awakening, it's obviously awakens the whole team, but for that short duration, your opponent gauges are locked. There's absolutely no explanation on why this has happened or anything, it's just poor mechanics at the moment. It also does a 3-minute attack, which can end with a big ultimate finish. Utilize that in the best possible form. It's not unbeatable, so time it well. Now this one is controversial. It's Team Awakening but with one character. Some are calling it Rush Awakening and others are just calling it simply R3. This occurs when you use an assist and then click R3. It's frowned upon, but it's still a mechanic nonetheless. It's used the exact same way, mostly used after a smash for an easy free ultimate. I put this as a pro tip because as you climb the ladder, you will run into garbage players. There's no avoiding that, so either get with it or find a way around it. Countering ultimates. You can counter an ultimate in Jump Force with either a perfect smash or with another ultimate. Sometimes you have to waste your ult to not eat an ult. The cycle goes like this. Rush ultimate beats projectile ultimates. If you're ever in a bind and don't have time to block, pop ult and save your behind as quick as you can. And finally, team status. Yes, knowing the overall team output is important. If you're using a created character, you have just lowered your team overall health, which puts you at a disadvantage in Jump Force. Reading the attack percentages at the character select screen tells you how devastating the ultimate will be if you hit them while awakened. So, you can run around with your CAC in ranked, but don't be surprised if you start dropping off like a fly in battle. Keep your toolbox equipped with the right tools for the job, and understanding what your character effects do in battle will go a long way. I hope this helped you and a friend reach high rank. If you found any of this helpful, drop a like and share this to a friend. As always, I'm Enigma, signing off. Peace, guys.